Hi everyone, good morning, happy weekend. It's Saturday morning. What is it, September 15th? Oh, it's one of my nephew's birthdays today. Happy birthday, Jordan. I know you're not watching, but anyway, happy birthday. Wow, I have a lot to show you. I have some finished objects and I have finished knitting and I have finished sewing. So, and I have some stash acquisition. I'm going to try to keep this as succinct as possible. So welcome returning viewers and welcome new viewers. If you're a new viewer, please or all viewers, hit the like button if you like the content, and please subscribe if you want to see more. I normally make a episode weekly. But last week, I don't know, we've had in northern New Jersey, where I live in California, in the United States. Clearly I'm out of practice. We had like monsoon weather for the last 10 days. And I don't know, I just didn't get inspired to record last weekend. There was no reason not to, other than that I was really close to finishing a couple things, and I thought, I kept procrastinating because I kept thinking, I'm gonna finish. And then when I did finish, I just, whatever, didn't want to broadcast or record. So I'm here today though. I hope I'm not fading into the background too much. I already did a couple fashion changes because I didn't like the way the blouse I originally picked looked on camera. You're not here for that. Let's get to it. Let's talk about my finished objects. So excitingly, I want to share with you that I have finished my DK weight cardigan, which is currently nameless. This is a new pattern that I will be publishing around the end of September, maybe the first week of October. And it is a very nice slouchy knit with probably like what I would describe as a semi-fitted sleeve. I love the way it came out. I love the way it's fitting on the shoulder. I love the way it is hanging. It has absolutely no shaping, though you could put it in if you wanted. It has, you're not seeing the whole thing, but I'll put a picture on screen of the entire sweater. It has pockets right here, which you don't really see even in the flesh with this very dark yarn that I used. And it has a really pretty raglan sleeve detail and a little bit of color work on the sleeve. I did, for the first time on one of my own designs, I did a very stretchy bind off because I was a little bit concerned about where the bottom of the sweater was gonna fall, like around. Let me show you anatomy wise. So that's the tushy, right? So it falls below the tushy. Is that so below your widest area. So I wanted to have an extra stretchy bind off so that, you know, it would be comfortable when you're walking and sitting and all of that. You have an option to do buttonholes. You don't have to do buttonholes, buttons and buttonholes on this. It looks perfectly fine without. I chose to do buttonholes on mine. But yeah, it drapes really beautifully in this wonderful yarn. I'm gonna take it off of Martha because she's wearing my finished object that I'll talk about when I get to sewing. But yeah, this way I can show you, and also the camera won't blow out because of the very bright color. But let me get up close with the sleeve detail. So that's the raglan sleeve detail. And let me also give you an up close of the color work. There it is. And there's the pocket. Now you can see the pocket better. And that really stretchy bind off that I did. Okay, so it's just a little bit of color work. I didn't want to have a huge yarn yield, so I limited the color work. So let me tell you about this yarn, because this yarn is really gorgeous. The yarn that I use for the main body is this right here. It's called Lavender, and it is GarnStories, which is a German indie dyer. This is her DK weight. It's 100% new wool merino superwash. It's 250 meters to 100 grams skein. It's a 5-ply, which means it's got really nice squish, especially once it's knit up. It's just, yeah, it's really nice. I love DK weight for sweaters. I like fingering. 2 fingering's kind of a good wear most of the year round, especially fingering weight sweaters for air conditioning in the summer is really nice. DK though is a really nice weight. Worsted I think is a little bit too heavy for our temperatures here, so DK seems to be the way to go. The contrast color is Countess Ablaze. I believe this is an 8-ply. I think I say this every time and I've never gone back to confirm. But it's Countess Ablaze. The color is called Vlad. Sorry, I got a little bit of white thread in there. I love this color. I would like a whole sweater out of it. I don't know, though I have so many things planned, which I'll talk to you about. So don't know when I'll get around to that. But I may pick up another skein of this. This is almost a full skein. I think I used, it's 115 grams, 225 meters. And I think I used about 15 grams of this skein to finish my sweater. So I think if I get another skein, I maybe could make some socks. But which brings me to my next FO. You're not going to believe this because this was 10 months. I have finished the socks that I made for my son for Christmas. So 10 months later, I started these last November and I finished them last night. They're actually still a little damp from being blocked. I'm going to see him later. I'm going into the Bronx to see this boy. I say this practically every week, I feel like. I have 3 sons that all live in New York City. They all live separately now. For a while, 2 of them were living together. But I'm going to see the one whose socks these are. I showed them to him and I had him try one. I finished one just after Christmas, like maybe on, I don't know, that week between Christmas and New Year's. He tried it on, it fit fine, and because I was a little bit concerned about fit. And then it took me 9 months, 9 months to finish the second one. Second sock syndrome is a real thing. I've said this before. I'm not a sock knitter. I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th pair I've made. Saying that, I do have a sock pattern on Ravelry that's free if you're interested. It's just a really simple 2x2 rib sock pattern that was based on a vintage sock pattern that I found a while ago, like a long while ago, and I just modified it and updated it with today's terminology. I didn't, when I wrote that pattern, I didn't know about magic loop. I had never tried it. I knew about it, but I had never tried it, so I didn't write any notes in there. But you could certainly, if you're a sock knitter, you know magic loop and you know how to do it, and you probably also know how to do 2 at a time socks so that it prevents second sock syndrome. Let me tell you about the yarn. I didn't pull my extra bit, but this is Casual Fashion Queen yarn. I'll flash the name on screen. It is 2 of her complementary colorways. She didn't intend for them to be complementary, but they were both club colors from a club that I had joined in the fall. I guess maybe it was last fall. No, spring. Spring 2017 was when I joined it. It was a Game of Thrones club. And this color, this taupe color, this is called A Yarn Has No Name. And the gray color that you're seeing there is called Dragonstone. And she used the same gold in as a accent in both of them. And so these go together really well. They're beautiful socks. I had used the Yarn Has No Name colorway for a sweater that I used part of it in a sweater that I knit for my son's girlfriend. So this way he'll have socks that match her sweater. That was my idea. And he loves these little shorty socks. Like this is his go-to sock style that he likes. So yeah. So when I was saying I may make socks with this is DK weight. So I'm going to try socks one more time. I'm going to try DK weight sock and see if I don't like that better. I have a friend who has requested a pair of socks from me. So I've been on the lookout for DK weight yarn, and I'm not going to say I'll give them to him as a Christmas gift, but I don't know. Maybe somewhere down the road. Maybe for Father's Day. How far away is that? 7 months? 8 months? No, more than that. 9 months. Could probably get them done by Father's Day. But anyway, yeah, my second FO from this past 2 weeks. I've also made significant progress on a couple of works in progress, which I wanted to show you. I have said this before. I said this last week, so last time. Returning viewers will know this already, but new viewers will not. I have been commissioned to make 2 designs for Long Island Yarn and Farm. They are a small business, woman-run business in Long Island, which isn't too far from me. Her farm is probably about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from where I live. And it's actually, her farm is on the way to the Hamptons, where I spend a lot of time. I didn't spend a lot of time there this summer. I don't really like it out there in the summer. It's super busy and not, I don't know, just crowded, really, really crowded. It's beautiful out there though. It's so magical and just amazing. Beaches are the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. Anyway, I digress. This isn't a beach holiday podcast, it's a knitting podcast. So I had made a sweater, my Nikama shawl, I had made a shawl out of using her yarn of one of my own designs, and she was interested in me making some designs specifically for her. So I've been commissioned to make 2 designs. I have one of them, I would say this is about halfway done. This is, and there's a little bit more. This is a shawl design, which you can see it is coming along. I am doing a graphic center out knit. Her Long Island Yarn and Farm yarns are generally contain alpaca. This one, the main body, it is so scrumptious and beautiful. It feels so soft. This is going to be just a nice, warm, cozy shawl. This is a 80% alpaca, 20% silk blend. It is so nice to knit with. It's a real luxury yarn. The purple, which is this one right here, is a blend of, hang on, I've got to get it. It is a blend of alpaca, bamboo, superwash wool, and superwash wool. So it's 65 alpaca, 25% superwash, and 10% bamboo. They work really well together though. I am just loving this knit. I'm loving, it's so warm on my lap. It's gonna be a really cozy shawl. But this isn't for me. I won't be keeping this sample. This sample will go into her store, and she'll use it to, to sell her yarn. And if you can see there, with the purple, I did a very simple yarn over lace pattern to just give it a little bit of air, so it's not incredibly stifling. This is going to be a triangular shaped shawl. I don't think you can really tell. Oh wait, I have a sketch. The colors aren't exactly right, but that's the idea. I don't know. I mean, I'll make some decisions as I go. There will be some sort of trim on the bottom, some sort of applied border. I don't know yet exactly what that's going to be. And I also think as I'm working it, I believe I'm going to have an I-cord finish across the top. That'll probably be the purple. Have to see. Have to figure that out. But yeah, so this has been a lot of my knitting time, as you can imagine, with the shawl. But I would guess I'm about halfway done. It's a very easy knit. It's a center out knit. You start right here and in the belly button area. You start right here, doing a circular cast on. I think you start with 8 stitches if I recall right, and then just work your way out. And yeah, section by section. So it's pretty easy. It's very portable. Being a silk alpaca blend, it's very lightweight. It's not heavy yarn. But stay tuned. I'll show you as that progresses. I had told Tabitha, who runs Long Island Yarn and Farm, that I would try to get at least one of the 2 designs done by Rhinebeck. I may even get both of them done. We're still 5 weeks out from Rhinebeck, and I made all the progress on that, a lot of progress on that shawl this past week, so I may even finish it this upcoming week. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it'll be pretty close. I should finish it within 2 weeks, I think. And then, you know, then it'll go to her. The design will go to her, and she's buying the design, and the sample will go to her too. And I will be working. I just got the yarn, all the yarn that I need to make a cardigan. Which do I have? I thought. Oh, the cardigan will actually be similar to this one. To my yet unnamed new design. So it'll have that same neckline shaping. It will be smaller for sure. It'll be shorter. And it will have color work. It's going to do the same upside down color work that one did, except that the pattern will go into the purple. So the main color is this beautiful Stellina gold color, and the contrast color is this one here, this beautiful yarn. So those will be the 2 colors together. She calls this sport weight, and with a micro mill operation like what she has, her weights aren't necessarily commercial grade. So though she's calling this sport weight, when I knit a swatch up, I got the equivalent to commercial weight DK. So that's the way I'm treating it. Let me just tell you about the yarns. The camel color, or the beige color. Look at, we're all so beige. Me, more the yarn, the walls. Anyway, this is 70% alpaca, 25% US merino, and 5% nylon, which is probably, that 5% is probably the Stellina that's in there. It's her color champagne, and as I said, it's in her sport weight. And the purple is called Lavender Denim. If you look there, you can see there's flecks of the camel color in there, or like a beigey color. No Stellina. This is 50% alpaca, 20% silk, and 30% wool. So yeah, so she just sent me all the yarn that I needed. I only had taken skeins, a single skein of each yarn, and I didn't have enough to make a cardigan. So I kind of waited on casting this on. So this will be something that I will be casting on in the next week or so. And yeah, I'll be working my way through the design. It should go pretty quickly. I think this thickness of yarn and stuff it'll move along. And so those 2 patterns, those 2 designs are gonna really take a lot of my time over the next probably month, and until they're done. And yeah, that's just how it goes. And then they'll be, hopefully, I'm hoping to get them both done by Rhinebeck. How awesome would that be? I'll have 2 designs in Rhinebeck, at Rhinebeck. Yay. I have a new cast on, and last time, in my last episode, I had 3 things I could cast on. The Go-To Raglan by Stephen West, and the Rocquaine sweater, because Amy of Stranded Dye Works podcast is doing a knit along for Rocquaine, and I had been eyeing it for a while since she made it last year. And what was my third one? Oh, the Sepala by Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knits. And yes, I asked for input, and it sounded like the Rocquaine was the way to go. So I have cast on the Rocquaine. And this yarn is not showing its true color on screen. It is much less blue, much more green shaded than it appears. And I just have a little bit done. I've got about 2 inches, I'd say. This sweater requires a provisional cast on, which I had never done before. I knew about it, and I had, you know, done a swatch of it, but I'd never done it on a sweater. But apparently it has an uneven hem. So the front is one length, and then the back is longer. It's got like a shirt tail bottom, so that's why we do the provisional, so that you can do those rib separate. And it'll have a split, I do believe. I'll put a picture on screen. Oh wait, maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe I can show you right here. I'll show you what the sweater looks like if you're curious. Okay, there it is. There it is. So it's just a solid, that's one color. It's just the way that my printer printed. So it's a solid pullover design with textured up top and a drop shoulder. This one looks quite short. Amy made hers, when she made hers last year, she made the stockinette part. I think she said she went 9 inches. I'm gonna go back and check her notes before I finish. And I think the pattern calls for it to be around 7.5. So I'm gonna do a longer version so that it's, I don't really want a cropped pullover. So it'll be like it'll probably end like just below high hip if I go 9 inches. The yarn, let me tell you about the yarn. I have an uncaked skein here. The yarn is by an indie dyer who lives near Albany in upstate New York. And it is her company's called the Periwinkle Sheep, and this is the Warm Ewe colorway. I don't know why it's blowing out right there. The Warm Ewe. It's DK weight, so it's a DK weight pullover. 225 yard, put up on 100 grams, 100% superwash. I just love this color. It's such a beautiful, intense turquoisey green, and I wish it wasn't showing. It's showing much darker on screen than the way it looks in life, unfortunately. Yeah, but there's my swatch that I had made for the Rocquaine. So the Rocquaine is coming along. That is, right now, that is a delightfully mindless knit. So it's getting a lot of attention, as you know, when I need a little break from being in design mode. And I actually think, like, when I cast on that cardigan, that mostly is going to be mindless, because the color work on that cardigan is going to be way down here, starting just probably under the bust line, and then it'll continue through the bottom of the sweater, well, up to the rib of the sweater. That sweater's, I'm planning for it to end about high hip. It'll probably end about here. I want to keep the yield good. Okay, what else do I have to show you? So that's my knitting from the last couple weeks. I did get some stash. I had mentioned this if you're following along. I joined a couple clubs in the summer, you know, and clubs are kind of cool because if you decide you don't want yarn, you're not going to buy any yarn. Your yarn budget, you're up to here, like you've reached it for the next few months. With yarn clubs, at least, like, so you've blown your budget from, like, I blew my budget from June and July, but I haven't bought anything in August. Well, that's not 100% true. I bought one thing in August, which I'm going to show you. But the cool thing about clubs is that you still get yarn. You're still getting some little something that just keeps the creativity going. It's early morning, so I'm having coffee. Not early, but anyway, so let me show you my clubs. The first one is from Casual Fashion Queen, which is the dyer that I got Game of Thrones club. This is not a this is not Game of Thrones, so this is a studio club. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, but I want to say it's Ghibli. I'm gonna put it on screen. It's a Japanese anime animation studio that, if you're familiar with the film Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle, that's what that studio makes those films. So this color is called Yubaba, and she's a character in Spirited Away. I'll pop a picture of her on screen. The thing with the films, a lot of the films that this studio does is that the characters are kind of not, they're not 100% good or 100% evil, and Yubaba, you kind of think she's a little bit evil, but she turns out to not be evil. Yeah, anyway. Love this color. You know, if you watched my last episode, you'll know I'm into blue. I am into blue lately. I don't know why. I'm just kind of going with it. So I was super pleased to get. Now remember, club colors, you never know what you're gonna get. So I didn't know the names or anything. All I knew was the theme. So yeah, super pleased to get this blue, this beautiful blue with these amazing hits of this blush pink with speckles, and it's not showing well on camera, but I'm gonna make it show well. There you go. Yeah, look at that. So pretty. So pretty. Gorgeous. This is her 80/20 Superwash Merino Nylon Blend. The second club I got is falling out of its skein. Here we go. It is the second month of Stitch Together Studios Johnny Cash Club. My first month I got in July. This is August shipment. She had moved. This, by the way, this was August shipment too, from Casual Fashion Queen. I have 2 more months of this. I have September and October of this, and this one I have 1 more month of. I didn't realize when I joined that it was a sock club, so I got this little mini. So it's her skeins for this club are based on Johnny Cash songs. So this is Ring of Fire. And I had thought that because it's Johnny Cash, there'd be lots of black speckles, and so far I'm not disappointed. This is the second, as I said, skein of the club. The first club was also heavily black speckled, so I love black speckles. If it has black speckles, I want it. I don't know why. It's just something that I really love. I remember Tracy from Grocery Girls saying the same thing, and I was like, yes, me too. I am totally with you. So yeah, my second club color. All right, I splurged. I shouldn't have, because I'm supposed to be on a yarn diet until Rhinebeck, but I splurged. I did 2 splurges actually. This is one that came already. This I bought in August, and then about a week and a half ago, I did another splurge, but it was a planned splurge. It was a splurge that I had said I would do, and I'll tell you more about it when it comes. It's on its way, so I should have it by my next episode. So this one, this splurge, I have it all in a box. I had seen this on Skein Deer podcast with Ellie of Skein Deer Knits. I had seen these yarns, and I don't know, I became obsessed. I thought I had to have it. So this is a gradient pack by the company called Vaerbitt. They are located in Oslo. They're a indie dyer in Oslo and a yarn shop. And I think Christy Glass went there too. If you're a Christy Glass follower, or if you're a Skein Deer Knits follower, you'll be familiar with this. If you're not, then I'm introducing it to you. But this This dyed yarn, she used gradient blue, so you can see it there. It is 100% Norwegian wool, so it's unusual to find indie dyed Norwegian wool, and I think she might be the only indie dyer who dyes Norwegian wool that that you can buy from. So this isn't necessarily what got me to make the sale, though, or to do the sale. What I really was obsessed with from Skein Deer was the Mohair, this beautiful indie dyed gradient blue Mohair. It's just so pretty, so pretty. And what Ellie was saying when she had visited the shop was that the way that this is dyed is that it's skeined up and then set to soak in the dye, and that's what creates this really cool gradient. So I got 2 skeins of this. I basically I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. Actually, I know what I'm gonna do with it now, but I had no idea when I initially bought it. So hang on 1 second, I just want to hold it up all together so you can see how that would work. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough yarn to make something. So this is 200 grams, this 4-pack. So it's about a little over 800 yards. It's about 810 yards. It's 375 meters to 100 grams. So each skein is 50 grams. And these are 25 grams each, 209 meters. So this is about 480 yards or so, these 2 skeins together. So I've got double the amount of this to this, yardage wise. So yeah, it turns out that the Elton, I was calling it Elvis, but it's Elton sweater by Hohi Locatelli. If you are a podcast viewer, if you watch her podcasts, she designed a sweater that is a stripe of wool and then a stripe of mohair, and it just released this week. So I checked the yardage and I actually have enough to make my size. So I'm probably gonna do that with that. But how cool will that be with the the gradient blues? I may start with the dark blue on top, the gradient blues, and alternating with that mohair. I think that will just be amazing. I had mentioned the cardigan originally when she was working on it, when I received my Lavender Tits Out Collective yarn. So and that's what she used. She didn't use Tits Out Collective, but she used another color. I want to say Yellow Brick Road. This one with the big yellow splotch is my mohair, and then those are the singles. So this is exactly the yarn that Hohi used in her pattern, and it turns out I also have enough of this to do that same sweater. But this, I don't know, I was thinking about this morning. These colors are so close together. I mean, this would be a different style sweater, and it would certainly be special. So I'm leaning more towards doing a blue version first, and before I do this version. But this still could be a birds of a feather shawl. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna put this away and let it marinate some more. But I don't know when I'm gonna cast on that sweater. I did buy the pattern already. She was running it with a 25% discount, I think through Sunday, through tomorrow, with no code needed. You just go buy it. Go buy it, and you can make it too. The yarn yield is really nice. I mean, that you can get it out of a 50 gram skein of mohair, and then 2 100 gram skeins, single skeins, and fingering weight. That's pretty good. That's good yield, I think. So, yeah, not sure when that's going to happen. Sometime in the next month or so. Like I said, commissions first, then my other knitting. And I have yarn for those other 2 designs, the Go To Raglan and the Cipla And I do want to make them. So I don't know. I have my knitting planned for the rest of the year. that's basically it. Sewing, on the other hand, I'm really wrapping up. I'm almost done. I finished this dress right here, which I am planning to either wear to Indie Untangled or to Rhinebeck itself. I don't know. It really depends on how the weather is. Rhinebeck is 100% outdoor event with barns where you can shop yarn and stuff. And Indie Untangled is all indoors, and it's in the afternoon, the night before Rhinebeck opens. So anyway, this is the third time I've made this dress. Sorry, just looking for that. Here it is. It is from this book right here by Santo Wantabe, called Basic Black, and it's got 26 different patterns in it. This dress is this pattern right here. I made a short version. I did only 4.5 tiers, so the last tier is just a little tiny ruffle. I'll put a picture on screen of what this dress looks like, the whole thing, because you can't see the whole thing. It's cut off, but it has it is sleeveless, and it has a tie back. You can take the tie and wrap it around the front as well if you want. It's become my favorite dress pattern. I did do some modifications from the book. I put in a bust dart. I did a full bust adjustment and put in a bust dart, which I talk about in a previous episode. When I made my first short version of this, I've made it long. I've made one version the length that is shown here, and then my second one was a short version like this, and this is now my third one. I don't know if you can see, but those little specks on the dress are little teeny tiny bats. So this is kind of a fall appropriate dress, and since Rhinebeck falls a week ahead of Halloween, yeah, perfect, right? And if it's cool enough, I will wear the way that you saw it at the beginning of the episode. I will wear my new cardigan over it, so it's a really nice pattern. Yeah, so I finished that last week, and I started what will be the second outfit that I will wear to Rhinebeck / Indie Untangled. This is not quite done. It is a blouse version of that same dress that Martha's wearing. Actually, I think I can slip this on over her head and you can get it. A better idea. I haven't, of course it's not done, so the side seams are not completed yet. When I started this, hang on, let me get this on her. This neckline is not really laying nice. I hope it's because maybe it's gonna be more this way instead of tied. Okay, there you go. So there, you can get an idea. So when I talked about making this, I was a little worried about the llama print being a little too kitschy for me, but I thought it would be good for a yarn festival. But it's growing on me. I actually like it. I think it's pretty cute. So that is also from this book. It is View A. The dress is View B. The pattern, the top of the pattern pieces, so there it is finished. So it'll have lace trim around the bottom. It'll have sleeves with a little bit of smocking right there. And then the sleeves also have lace, which you can see in the picture over here. And theirs is actually tied. Huh, okay. Well, I know I modified the neckline on this blouse. I use the exact same neckline that I used on the dress, and you're meant to do a little bit more of a scooped neckline, so that might be why I'm having a little bit of awkwardness here. But I actually wouldn't mind it being open. I did, the pattern is written so that you don't sew this up. I sewed up to here because I wanted to be able to wear this without a tank top underneath it. So I assumed that if I kept it tied, it would stay closed, and it looks pretty good. I think it's looking pretty nice. The next thing for me to do is to sew up the side seams, hem it, put the lace on, and then make the sleeves and set the sleeves, and then it'll be done. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll definitely finish this either today, later this afternoon, or tomorrow at some point. So yeah, that's my sewing. And after this, I don't have any sewing plans. I've been looking at dress patterns. I'm interested in making a shirt dress more for fall, winter. I haven't found a pattern I like, so if you have any ideas, tell me in the comments if you have an idea of a good shirt dress pattern. I may have one. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I want it to have some shaping. I don't want it to be just a straight up and down shirt pattern. And I don't, though I have the skills to make patterns, I don't want to spend the time making a pattern. So I'd rather just buy some ones. There's another dress pattern that I've been looking at for fall, winter as well, that I may end up purchasing. If I do, I'll show you. I'll talk about it. But I'm actually intending, once I finish this blouse here, I'm gonna put my sewing machine away for a little while. It's been out in my bedroom on my desk for a long while, for all summer. I think I'm gonna put it away and just like clear my head, clear my palette of sewing for a little bit, and just until I'm inspired again to sew. So I think that's it. I think that's all I have for you this week. So I don't think I did too bad. Yeah, we're under an hour, which is a win. And I look forward to sharing more with you next week. I'm sure it'll be a shorter episode because I'll have less to share. And yeah, subscribe, like, yeah, all of that. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. Happy sewing, knitting, crafting, whatever it is that you're doing. And thank you for spending some time with me. Bye.